Welcome back to Batman Knightfall. Now today we're going to see Bane go up against Killer Croc. Guys, they actually fought a little time before, but this is like their rematch in this issue, right? This is Detective Comics number 660, Knightfall Part 4. Now, Robin's going to be involved in this. He's going to get kidnapped by Bane. It's going to be very interesting. I actually really enjoy this issue, and I'm excited to explain it to you guys. So, if you guys are ready, let's dive into this issue. We begin with Killer Croc. He sneaks up on this rat in the sewers. This rat moves a little bit, but then Killer Croc strikes. He grabs the rat. He says, "Yes, so hungry. You'll go down easy, little one." Now he eats the rat. He eats in his little cell. Now these two men walk by. This one guard says, and this one, the other guard responds, Waylon Jones. We call him Killer Croc. He's in and out of Arkham more than the kitchen help. Now the other man says, what's his story? That's when one of the guards say, you never know it to look at him, but he ran Gotham's top mob for a while. Now he's just another hopeless nut job. Now the other guard responds, he break his arms in here? And the other guard says, nah, that's the way the cops found him. Somebody hit him a real beating. And the man looks inside and says, jeez, I'd hate to meet that guy. Now they walk down the hall and the other guard says, any idea who racked him up? And the other guard responds, Croc was in no shape to tell us. I doubt he even knows. Now Killer Croc, he throws the rat back into the water. And he looks up and he screams, Bane! So guys, we know that Bane is the one that actually wrecked him, broke his arm, so Killer Croc wants revenge. That's what he is seeking. Now we shift to Gotham, and we see Bane with Zombie and Croc. They're going through this one alleyway. Now Zombie says, is it wise to be this public, Bane? Now Bane says, and what purpose does the terror I have created serve if I cannot savor it, Zombie? Look at the streets, empty, lifeless. A community cowers behind locked doors. I create a darkness that chills their very souls. I must see inured to its own horrors, no fear. Can you feel it? It has only just begun. Ah, Bird has returned. Now we see a bird and comes by, and that's when Bird, he swings down. He says, he's with Bane, and Bane says, tell me more. And that's when Bird says, Batman's at the end of his rope. He don't know which way to jump. He hasn't even run up against the major league crazies that we let out of Arkham, and already he's looking beats. Bane says, we will let him run a bit more of the gauntlet. I want to know his most extreme limits of endurance. After all, the point of this exercise is to learn all I can about the man I came to Gotham to destroy, the Batman. Now we see Robin above, and he calls Batman. He says, Robin and Batman on closed channel. You read me? Batman, I'm still following Bane, as we agreed. Robin and Batman, are you out there, Batman? Batman, you got to come in. Batman? Batman? Now we see Batman. He's laying down this rooftop. He's beat. Now below we see Zaz. Because guys, you don't remember in the last issue, we saw Batman and Zaz, they went up against each other. And Batman beat Zaz, so Zaz is just being turned in now. Now Bullock says, move aside, coming through. And Zaz says, let me out. And Bullock says, you just keep right on staring holes in me, Zaz. I've been eye-bugged by better than you. We got a nice little cell waiting for you, and you better stay there, pal, because the next time you get out, I'll make sure there's no other cops around, just you and me, and Smith and Wesson. I do you right here and now, but I don't want to spend the rest of my 20 talking to internal affairs humps. Now, he smokes on his cigarettes, and he finishes with, besides, I got a lot of other loonies to look for. Now we shift to this apartment. We see this attorney in his room in his bed, and ventriloquist comes by with Sacco. Sacco says, Mr. Mr. DeWheeler, attorney at law. And the man wakes up, what is this? Who are you? And he sees the ventriloquist at the end of his bed. Now Sacco says, you can call me Sacco, counselor, and you already know your valued client, the ventriloquist. Now the man says, what do you want? And Sako goes up to him. You are the last to defend my palace, bloody Scarface. We want to know where Scarface got to. The man says, this is all about that stupid puppets? You're nuts. Why should I help you find anything? And Sako says as ventriloquist points a gun at this man. Cause bullets make nasty holes. Darned if you do, darned if you don't. That's sock humor, counselor. Now, we shift and we see Bane. He's walking further into this alley in Gotham. Robin is watching. Now, Bane says, anything else to report to me, Bird? Bird says, well, I think you should let me waste that Robin brat. That kid could get to be a pain. Now, that's when Bane says, no, we'll dispose of the boy later. If you want the job, it is yours. But for now, he may prove to be useful. Now, Robin watches and follows them even further. Now, Bane gets on top of this train, and Robin gets behind him. Now, Robin thinks, wish I could get Batman on the radio. I'd better keep up with this guy until I can. Sounds like him and his buddies are the ones who busted Arkham open. This is definitely one to keep an eye on. I have the feeling everything I've done so far has been practice. Now, Bane watches. Now, Robin says, hey, into the subway. No way I can radio Batman through all that concrete and steel. Probably out of range by now. Starlight lens will help me keep an eye on tall, dark, and gruesome. Now, he puts on his lens that go through this dark tunnel. But Bane is gone. Robin says, wait a minute, did he fall off? Now, there's the happy thoughts. Our mystery villain done in by the Sheldon Park D train. Now, Robin's happy, but behind him, you see Bane. Bane kidnaps Robin. Now, we shift to another alleyway in Gotham. We see Batman. Now, Bullock turns on the lights. He says, oh, it's you. Not used to getting snuck up on, huh? Now, Batman says, Bullock. And Bullock responds, you don't look so hot, pardon my mentioning it. Batman says as he hunches over, could you turn the light off? And Bullock says, sure. Probably forgot that you like the low profile. Don't worry, it's just you and me. The boys are busy cleaning up after that Zaz creep. You may look like a stiff wind would blow you over, but you sure kicked that psycho's butts. Now, Batman says, yeah, thanks. Look, I have to be going now. Can't find Robin. Now, Bullock says, I don't know. Looks like you got enough to worry about with yourself, you know? You better off with 8 hours of sack time. Wherever the kid is, I'm sure he can take care of himself. Now, Batman disappears into the nights. Now, Bullock finishes with, which is better odds than I give you right now. So Bullock notices that Batman is not in the best shape. Now, Robin wakes up, but he's blindfolded. Now, Robin says, don't like this. Can't see where I am. Can hear water rushing, lots of water, echoes. I'm in a large enclosed space. Breathing, who? Now, that's when Bane says, right behind Robin, I'm very curious about you. You aid the Batman's fight against crime, eh? And yet you are just a boy. I am just beginning to understand your mentor, but you are a wild card to me. Robin says, where have I heard that before? Your name is Bane, isn't it? Bane says, and the other one, the one who pretended to be Batman. Robin says, just another one of our merry men. Now, Bane says, you know I went to the trouble of blindfolding you. It would have been much easier to simply blind you, but I appreciate youthful defiance. You struggle against your fear, I admire that. Robin thinks, really? Maybe I'll call you if I ever need a job reference. This guy is a world-class sickie. I gotta get away from him and free my hands. No room to move. Where are we? Robin doesn't know that he's in the sewers, right? And by the way, guys, that other Batman that Bane was referring to was Azrael when he tried being Batman. Now, Bane says, you may be useful to me yet. I imagine that the Batman would come to help you if he knew you were in danger. Now, Robin says, I'm no hostage. Batman's not gonna fall into any trap for my sake. Bane says as he gets closer, such brave war, such camaraderie. But you may be right. Now you see Croc, he smells Bane, he swims through the water, and he gets closer to Bane and Robin. Now Robin goes to kick Bane, and Bane says, I am growing impatient. And Robin says, really? I can't tell you how sorry I am about that. Now Bane catches his foot and says,
This begins to bore me. There's so much you could tell me about the Batman. I have no real desire to kill you.
Now, Bane holds Robin over the water and says,
unless you cause trouble for me, tell me about my enemy. Tell me everything I need now. I will release you.
Robin says, I'll tell you one thing, Bane. He's being guys who make you look like a Girl Scout. Now, that's when Bane throws Robin to the ledge. And Bane says,
you will be someone's coming.
Now, Bane disappears, but Robin gets back on the ledge. And he says, you can threaten me all you want, but it's not gonna help you against Batman, Bane. Bane? He knows that Bane's gone. Now, Killer Croc comes forth, and Robin says, I know you're still here, Bane. You really should do something about the mouth breathing. Huh? And Killer Croc removes Robin's blindfold, and Killer Croc says, where is he? And that's when Robin thinks that, wait, has this been Killer Croc this entire time, not Bane? Now, Robin says, I don't know where Batman is, and Killer Croc says, not him, the one called Bane. The one who broke my arms. The stink of him is everywhere. Now, Bane comes behind Killer Croc and punches him in the back. And Killer Croc says, ugh. He falls to the ground, but then dodges a punch from Bane. Bane says, I thought I broke you, animal. Not enough, I suppose. Now I will have to kill you. Now, Killer Croc then catches Bane's foot. And he says, yeah, well, you got to do it without your secret weapon, pal. Now, Killer Croc breaks the venom flowing into Bane's veins. Now, Robin tries to get out of his restraints. He tries very hard, he's bleeding, but he finally gets out of them. He says, yes. Now, he starts to go toward the fight. Killer Croc punches Bane in the face and says, not so hot without your juice, are you, Bane? Yeah, want to be top man Gotham, huh? You ain't even a contender. He punches Bane in the face, and you hear a scrunch, and blood comes out of Bane. But Bane punches back. He says,
I don't need venom to kill an insect like you. I am Bane, the Bane of anything that gets in my way, the Bane of anything that lives.
Now, Bane breaks Killer Croc's other arm, and Killer Croc screams. Now, Robin tries to get out, but that's when the ledge breaks, and Robin falls into the water with Bane and Killer Croc. Now, Bane and Killer Croc continue to fight, and that's when Robin sees this dark tunnel coming forth, and Robin thinks, guess I'm going to find out how long I can hold my breath. So, Robin's stuck in a very sticky situation. He could die because he could be stuck in this water for a long time. Not to mention, he's right by a fight between Bane and Killer Croc. And that's how we end Knightfall Part 4. So yeah, guys, that was Knightfall Part 4, written by Chuck Dixon and drawn by Jim Balent. Now, I really like how Jim Balent draws Killer Croc. He looks very menacing and fierce, and Killer Croc's whole role in this issue was very entertaining. See him want vengeance on Bane, and that whole confrontation when it happens at the end of the issue is awesome. It's really dope because you see Killer Croc actually get the upper hand for a little bit until Bane strikes back. And seeing these two brutes who are some really like menacing villains in Batman's Rogues Gallery go head to head is something unique and really cool for this story. Now, seeing Robin, who's just like, I gotta get out of here, is really good. It puts him in a lot of danger and raises the stakes for the actual like story in this issue. And the ending, seeing that Robin may actually die, we know he doesn't, but still, having the cliffhanger that he may die, he has to hold his breath, is a good cliffhanger to keep people going and keep the momentum for next issue. Now guys, the writing itself was really well done throughout this issue. The dialogue, the action, the pacing, and by the way, the other like subplot scenes with like Batman, who's still weak, and Bullock noticing that, was a really good scene. I really like Bullock's like commentary, like, hey, Robin doesn't need help. You need help. You look like crap. Like, I agree with Bullock. Now, also the other scene with Ventriloquist, seeing him with Sacco and talking to the attorney, was really good, and I really enjoyed doing the impression for Sacco. I think it's like the only story that Sacco is in. Sacco may be in other Batman stories, but at least it's like the big one he's in. because he's a replacement for Scarface while he's gone, right? And I think Sako is a really good replacement. But yeah, guys, overall, I'm gonna give this issue an 8.5 out of 10. I recommend it. It's another solid installment in this entire story. And yeah, guys, you tell me your thoughts on this issue down below. Tell me your thoughts on that whole Killer Croc and Bane fights. I really enjoyed it, but what'd you think about it? And guys, if you liked the video, give a big thumbs up. New to the channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next Batman Knightfall video. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching, and peace out.